Welcome to another portion of Kingdom Inspiration News. This segment for this portion of the show is going to be dedicated to entrepreneurship and business, another area that I am definitely passionate about and love talking about. So I'm really excited and honored to have on this guest today. This guest is someone I have known for quite some time. I call him my brother. He is extremely knowledgeable in so many areas, but particularly in the area of business, forming your business, and how to market and move your business to the next level. So I'm really excited about being able to have a conversation with him and allow him to share some information and some nuggets that would allow the viewing audience to be able to glean and help them in their individual businesses that they're running or looking to start. So, welcome to Kingdom Inspiration News, Rodney Greene.
Hey. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. I appreciate you for allowing me to be on your platform to speak to your community. So this should be great. I'm just honored for sure.
So, Rodney, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Man. So I am first a husband, a father, definitely a man of God, and a business owner. I actually have a company called Greenlight Solutions, and we actually are business consultants where we help people, rather they come from the conception of their business, where they're like, hey, I have this idea and I'm trying to figure out how do I make it into a business. So we'll go over some different things, how they possibly could market it and things of that nature. And then once they feel good about it, then, we may move on to the business formation, of everything and set up their business with the Secretary of State, making sure that their LLC and the EIN or they C
Wait,
corp is.
wait, 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 wait.
Did I?
Slow down. You
Oh,
giving way too much
I'm
information.
sorry.
We're gonna get
Sorry.
through all that. All right,
My
before we get into all of that, and
yep.
you tell them about all your services, first let's go through the process of how you even came into forming a business like that and being able to provide those kinds of services. So,
Definitely. Okay.
how long have you been in business?
I've been in business. I think it's been since 2015, I believe it is, with Greenlight Solutions since about
Okay,
2015. Yep.
2015 with Greenlight Solutions. Were
Yep.
you in business prior to that? Did you have another business prior to Greenlight Solutions?
Yes, I was actually in entertainment. I was doing business management for different artists, gospel artists, and everything. So I was actually doing some business management for those guys. Yep.
Okay, so you were doing that. Now, let me go back up even a little bit more.
Sure.
Have you always had a desire or interest to be in business, to be an entrepreneur?
Yes. Always had a desire to be an entrepreneur. I just always felt as though that it was in my blood to actually do it from family members, has always been entrepreneurs. So I've always seen it around me. And so again, as I moved forward in being an entrepreneur, it just felt right. Everything just felt right. And be honest with you, a lot of things just lined up, the way that they were supposed to. Of course, we go through our struggles, our ups and downs and things of that nature. But for the most part, it lined up for me to be in business this long.
Okay, good. So now we can start to move forward.
Sure.
So around 2015, you formed Greenlight Solutions.
Yep.
What
2016.
was what was the basis for forming this kind of business? Was it from your personal experience? What made you form this business called Greenlight Solutions? And when you started it, were you offering the same kind of services that you offer now?
Actually, no. So when I first started Greenlight Solutions, I was actually doing more like marketing. So I was doing like helping people with marketing strategies in terms of bringing visibility to their brand. So that's how I actually started. But then as I was moving forward, I noticed that a lot of people were moving forward in their business, but never had their LLC set up or their C Corp set up or, business bank account and things of that nature. So it's like, noticing people were working backwards. So I seen that people needed that service more. And of course, you know, we still have some services that helps out in that area from the marketing side. So we do have a printing company. We'll get to that later though. But we decided to say, hey, let's help the people to understand, hey, you need to set this up first before you start moving forward in regards to business. Because right now you're working backwards. So so I decided to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to start working on setting up people businesses for them, making sure that it's legal, make sure that they have the EIN, business bank accounts, making sure those things are in place so they can actually have a legitimate business.
That's good. So from your experience, have you found that people just don't know that that's something that needs to be done? Or is it that people just don't have the resources? Or maybe it's a combination of both?
To be honest, I think it's a combination of both. One thing I can say is now, due to social media, people are now getting more educated in regards to figuring out the process, but in some areas still don't know how to handle the process. So that's where we actually come in to be able to either educate them or actually handle the process for them. So yeah, I think it's a combination of both. Like, you know, it's just of just lack of understanding. You know, you want to be this, but not understanding the process and how it's set up. And then you have a lot of people that's not willing to give the information sometimes, or even some tidbits on what they can do to move forward. So one thing about us is that we love to help people. We have a heart for the people. We're passionate about helping people. Anybody that knows me personally know I'm willing to give information to help them move forward in any type of way. That's just my character. That's just who I am. You know, I love people first.
Absolutely the case. When I tell you, so much knowledge and so much information, and such a willingness and a desire to help everyone. And yeah, you from the time I've known you, and that's been, ooh, oh man,
Yeah, about it, right?
yeah, it's
At
been about it's been about 15 years. Oh,
least,
am I off?
at least probably, no, probably more than that, to be honest with you. It was,
Yeah, it's been a while. That's always been the case, you know. I mean, you know, the two of us can get on a call and be going for hours as it relates to just information and exchange and dialogue. But what I love about what you're doing is that I also, being in business as well and providing some services, particularly to women, notice that there is the inability to do business as business should be done. So I call it the business of doing business. You know,
mm,
a lot of people want to start businesses, but unfortunately, they're not successful because they're not equipped to be able to handle the business of doing business.
right.
I was talking with a young lady just last week. Actually, no, it was I know it was talking with a gentleman, and I was explaining to him that so many African American women in particular are starting businesses. And I heard this from someone who does business workshops. She said, but unfortunately, we still rank last as it relates to sustainability and profitability
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we are not equipping ourselves to effectively run our businesses. You know, we're not taking the time to make sure that that foundation is set and getting the knowledge and the information and the tools that are necessary to take our businesses to the next level. And so the service that you provide is an excellent service. So let's go into a little more detail about some of those services. So if someone is thinking about or already in business but doesn't have the structure in place, like what's that process like? What do they just call you? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people find me on social media. Some people, a lot of are referrals. So it's like I've already worked with someone, and they said, "Oh, well, you need help? Oh, contact Rodney. He'll set it up for you." So a lot of that happens in regards to how they find me. You know, or some people just stumble upon the website and just kind of go through the website and just schedule a consultation. So that's basically how they find me, and then it's about what they're actually looking for. You know, so I always want to get to the foundation. You know, a lot of times people will contact you and say, this is what I want, but that's not what they need. So I
Mm,
try to out, hey, what is it that you actually need, and have them focus on that. So we can literally start from the foundation and build a strong foundation if we can. And so when that happens, I want to hear about your business. I want to hear about your ideas. I want to hear about those things before we actually move forward. And if I feel as though, hey, you know what? I think this, can definitely, hey, you're ready to go ahead and do the LLC. Let's go ahead and move forward with that. But if not, sometimes I may give a suggestion and say, hey, you ever thought about this or that? And they may pause and say, you know what? I never thought about that. Let me handle that first before I actually move forward in that capacity of making my business legal.
That's good. So not only do you provide the service through your consultation and then, your one-on-one coaching for your clients, but you've also recently started putting out some ebooks as well.
Yes, definitely. One thing I've learned is that I could not handle everybody's LLC, but yet I feel as though everyone should benefit from having an LLC. So recently I actually put out how to form your LLC DIYs. So basically right now, my goal is to do all 50 states. At this time, we have Pennsylvania, of course. We have Georgia, we have Missouri, and Kansas at this time. And now we're working on New Jersey, Delaware, Wyoming, and Nevada. And of course, we're looking to just continue throughout the year to continue to add. Please forgive me.
Okay, so we're tossing around this LLC. So let's even stop right there.
Sure.
Because someone listening might be like, okay, we know what it is, right? But there might be someone listening that might not even understand that. So let's have a little conversation about the LLC. So what is an LLC and why should somebody want an LLC over just operating a business or even just operating as a sole proprietor?
Sure. So first of all, LLC is a limited liability company. So basically, the reason why you want to have an LLC is protection, asset protection. Someone that just has a regular sole proprietorship or DBA, if someone decides to sue your company, they're going right after your assets with no problem. At least with the LLC, you have the opportunity to be protected. Now, here's the other thing about the LLC. From a financial standpoint, you want to also make sure that you keep your personal and business finances separate from each other. You know what I mean? Because that's actually called, like, if you ever had to go to court, piercing the corporate veil. And so that means that a judge can say, hey, you know what? Since he's using personal and business, his personal assets are now open, fair game. So what you always want to do is make sure that both of those guys are separate. But overall, having an LLC or a C corp would definitely provide you with the protection that you need as a business. Again, just being a sole proprietor or DBA, you're opening yourself up for, of course you can say, hey, I'm doing business or I'm handling business. But if people out here are just crazy. So if someone to say, hey, listen, I don't like the way you did this, I'm looking to sue you, at least your personal assets will not be affected.
Yeah, absolutely. Good information. But in addition to that, a lot of times people might think that they want to operate as a sole proprietor or DPA or just do business without any kind of a formation.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel that there might be some kind of advantage with that. Let's just keep it real in terms of reporting and taxes. But the reality is that once you form an LLC or S Corp or any of those legal corporations to run your business, you actually have more tax advantages that way as well.
Agreed. This is definitely true.
So there are multiple reasons why you want to take the time and do the work to protect yourself by forming a legitimate business. One is personal asset protection, as you said. Another one is definitely being able to, when it comes to taxes, there's so many more write-offs and so much more flexibility when you go through the process of actually properly forming your business. So I just kind of wanted to explain that to the viewing audience, what an LLC is and why they would even need to go through the process of forming it instead of just doing business the way some people have.
Definitely. If I can add also, it also opens you up to business funding. So if you're looking to get, establish business credit or get business loans to be able to move your business forward, so you don't have to use your personal money, you can also, it's also good for that as well. So, as long as everything is set up correctly.
Let's talk a little bit about that. That was really a good transition right there. I like that. That was a good transition into the other aspect of business. So initially, the first part of the business is, I'm hearing an echo.
Excuse me.
I lost you.
I can still see you. I can still hear you.
And there's a really bad echo all of a sudden. Where am I at? 15, 15. We got to figure out what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I seen everything. It kind of did a blackout for a second, and then it came back.
Yeah. We're gonna probably have to end and continue from where we left off.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna send you another link. I know where we left off at. I know what we were talking about. I'm gonna send you another link. Did you hear me?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
No, I said log off, and I'm gonna send you another link, and then we'll just continue it. Because this echo, I can't do anything with this echo.
No worries. I got you.
Okay. All right.